Questions over here. If you're writing questions, the hats are over here. Please get them down there as soon as you can. Talk about a little bit more about that in a second. My name is Martin Canning. I'm here on behalf of the Centertown Citizens Community Association. I want to thank everyone, all the audience for coming out tonight. I especially want to thank all the candidates for coming out this evening. Thank you to everyone, the candidates. Electricity, only a few days left. Only 4 days. I'd like to recognize a few groups immediately that helped organize this event. One is the Centertown Citizens Community Association. 2 is Old Ottawa East Community Association. And our media partner, Open File, who has done a lot of fantastic work in driving the questions that are going to come up here this evening. I want to name just quickly a couple other partners here. The Community Association, the Dewar Community Association, Centertown Community Health Center, Somerset West Community Health Center, Centertown Citizens Ottawa Corporation, and People for a Better Ottawa. So there's a lot of folks that have helped get all of us out here this evening, and they've done a lot of work. So thank you to all of those groups. Tonight, the format tonight is somewhat of an iron chef of all candidates events, in that the candidates don't really know the specific questions. So that's the secret ingredient to this evening. It's citizen-driven. It's driven by everyone in this room, and also through Open File online. Nick Taylor-Vasey here this evening is going to help moderate on behalf of Open File, and hopefully Alan Neal from CBC's All in a Day is going to be here to help moderate the audience component of the evening. I've heard that he's made an announcement on radio that he may be a little bit late due to traffic issues. But we have backups just in case, just so you know. I also want to make another note about tonight's format. There was a lot of thought put into how to make this event as inclusive as possible, both on the audience side and the candidate side. The decision was made that we're going to focus on the Green, NDP, the Liberal, and the Conservative candidate on stage. But all 8 registered candidates in Ottawa Centre have been invited to participate here tonight. And all candidates at the end of the debate, or the event, sorry, and questions and answers are going to be given an opportunity, if they're here, to say a few words to the audience. I want to emphasize that that was not an easy decision, but I want everyone to know that there is an opportunity here for all the candidates at this event, and it will be a format that we had to reconcile with a lot of different things, time, resources. It's a completely volunteer-driven event with very little resources. So I wanted to share that with you, just to say that it was a hard decision, but there was a lot of thought put into it. One final note, before we get down to business here this evening, so people know that in case of emergency, there's exits here at the front. There will not be, hopefully there will be no emergency. But there's also exits at the back. So if there is an emergency, please choose the exit that's closest to you. Before I turn the floor over to the candidates and moderators for questions and answers, the candidates will begin a 2-minute opening statements in a couple seconds. And the chronological order that the questions will be based on is we're going to take those numbers while they're doing their statements. I'm going to bring a hat over, get them to pick their numbers, and we're going to stay in that chronological order throughout the event. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn my mic off, and I'm going to turn this over to the candidates. Right now, for this part, we're starting this way. We'll start going down with Damian, and then we're going to pull numbers for the rest of the event. Okay, folks. So Scott, I'll start you off here for a 2-minute statement to. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Good point. Thank you, Meg. Meg is helping with timing here this evening, and if she wasn't here, we'd be lost on time for sure. Meg is going to display both to the moderator and to the candidates where we are on the time for the opening statement. So a 1-minute sign, which she is publicly displayed for everyone, and then a 10-second for your remaining 10 seconds. and please, everyone else. And a stop sign. Thank you very much. So Scott, your mic is here. Why don't you start us off?
great. Thanks. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the debate this evening. Thank you, Mark. And I would like to, is that part of my 2 minutes at this point? Thank you, Mark. I would like to say thank you to all of you for coming here this evening. My name is Scott Bradley, and I am very, very proud to be the Liberal candidate here in Ottawa Centre. My wife Joan and I, we've got 3 young children, and I think fundamentally I felt very strongly that we needed new people to run for office, and certainly new people to stand up and represent the Liberal Party of Canada, a party that I felt, frankly, has served this country extremely well over the last century. I don't have the advantage of incumbency here in Ottawa Centre, so what I've had to do over the last 18 months is knock on doors and talk to people, and knock on more doors and talk to more people and go to events. And we've been working extremely hard as a team here in Ottawa to, I think, try and identify the priorities in our community. And what's been crystal clear in the 12,000 doors I knocked on before the campaign started, and the doors that I've knocked on since that time, is that the primary concern for people here in Ottawa Centre is both the public service, what's happening to our government, and also the critical need to diversify our local economy. We've grown 37,000 jobs in the last 10 years in Ottawa, net new jobs, all of them within the public sector. We've got huge challenges right now with regards to not only a specific public sector issue, but how the public service is perceived across the country. What's clear to me is that everyone in our community recognizes that with the cuts that are being proposed by the Harper government, $4 billion in cuts to the public service, $11 billion in cuts to federal spending, this town and our community, Ottawa Centre, is going to be hit extremely hard if in fact we don't come up with alternative strategies and alternative plans. That's what I've been talking about on the campaign trail since the beginning, putting forward a plan to restore integrity to government, to be a champion across the country, and to grow and build a diverse, thriving local economy. I look forward to speaking with you this evening. Thank you.
I've seen many familiar faces. I've been at this for about 3 years, I was thinking, just this year earlier this evening. And it has been a delight and a privilege to stand here in Ottawa Centre with such great candidates running for office. It makes your decision very difficult. We also have an incredibly engaged community. And on that note, just a quick show of hands, how many of you have already voted? Be honest. Yes. That's great. Great. Fantastic. And just out of curiosity, how many of you have already decided who you're voting for? There are other hands too. Yes. So what I encourage you to do tonight is keep an open mind, because I've run for the Green Party of Canada because I believe it is time for us to open our minds and open our hearts to a different way that Canada can move forward. I'm very grateful for all the service that has been offered by candidates, by political leaders in the past. I'm also aware that we've hit a bit of an impasse. Politically, we're seeing a bit of a breakdown. I'm seeing at the doors, and over 20,000 doors we've knocked on, people are frustrated. People are feeling a slight bit left out in this election. And what I'm here to do is make sure that you know we're bringing forward ideas that matter. We're bringing forward ideas that represent over 70 countries collaborating, actually thinking together about what are practical, tried, tested, and true solutions for building the next generation of ideas in politics. Green parties collaborate around the world. I think that's a huge strength. And I'm proud to say that I'm part of a group of people globally who say, we're all in this together, and we need to be much more effective at coming up with solutions that will work in all countries around the world. The other thing I'm very excited about is I'm very excited to be the only woman on the stage. I think that does bring an interesting discussion. I'm still standing. I'm looking forward to serving you as MP in Ottawa, and let's see what we've got to offer tonight.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. It was traffic wasn't a problem for me because I actually just live around the corner. And in fact, it's one of the issues I know that people care about deeply here, and that's, of course, transportation, and it's related to the environment. And it is something that I think we should be focused on a lot in Parliament, in fact, is looking at how we're planning our country is connected to how we plan our communities. And for the last 5 years, I've worked with people in this community to look at issues of affordability, the environment, but also how we can do politics perhaps a little bit differently. And I say that because what you see on television, if you bother to look at question period, is not something that's working too well. And I think we can do politics differently. And we've done that in Ottawa Centre. We've had forums in this community. I've reached out to you. You've come up with your ideas on different issues, everything from foreign credential recognition to the arts to cycling to the public service. I think it's really important that we take all the resources in our community to come up with the best ideas to make progress in this country. There's a lot that is not working. There's a lot that we can do. I look forward to representing you if you are going to elect me again on Monday. But I'm going to ask you something, that it isn't just about showing up at this meeting, that after May 2nd, you show up and you make sure that you have your ideas put forward so that we can get them done in Parliament, because it's time we change politics in this country. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Damian Konstantinakos. I'm the Conservative Party candidate for Ottawa Centre. I want to thank you all for this opportunity. I want to thank the organizers especially for putting together this community-based debate. It means a great deal to me to be out here. I've only been the candidate for several months, and one of the things over this past 5 weeks is I've knocked on over 10,000 doors and met so many of the residents of Ottawa Centre. There's a great deal of support. I've met a great deal of supporters, but what's impressed me enormously is the fact that when I encounter somebody at a door who doesn't agree with me, who has problems with my party, with my leader, doesn't want to vote for me, not just the majority of them, but the near totality of them treat me with respect and are thankful for having met the candidate. I think that says a great deal about Ottawa Centre. I think that says a great deal about all of us. I'm running here to provide our children, our future, as well as ourselves, a minimum standard of opportunity. An opportunity for careers in different areas, an opportunity for education in different ways. We need to build a sustainable economy and a sustainable planet. And this is why I'm really working here towards meeting up, getting out there, meeting people, getting ideas. As a member of Parliament, my personal goal will be to help Ottawa stay on the cutting edge of the innovation economy. There are two pillars to job growth in Ottawa. The public sector is critical, and it always has been. My mother spent her career in the public sector, 30 years. And it's important to me to maintain that industry in Ottawa, maintain that in Ottawa. The private sector is critical. Not just the high-tech sector, but the medical research sector and other areas. We need to encourage an environment where job growth is welcomed and encouraged. And that's very important. Now, getting out of meeting so many of you, the message I've gotten back is that while this is a very unnecessary election, and I'm unhappy to be here, there's an important choice to make. A stable Conservative government focused on the future, or a practice coalition. We might be back here in a few weeks. And I hope you make the right decision. Thank you.